When you left home, you didn't know how to cook. I don't believe you'd ever seen the inside of a kitchen.
He's right. Marcia always shooed me out.
Let's play checkers now, Grandpa.
No, darling, not until we've shown Grandpa our new kitchen. Dad, it's perfectly amazing. I just love it. And now you'll see why I don't need a maid. Why, she'd only be in the way.
Well, you're never too old to learn. I tell you, Norma, that's the finest dinner I've had in a month.
Well, that's what I was afraid of, Dad. Well, shall we adjourn to the kitchen?
Kitchen?
Oh, yes. Everybody carries out their own plates here. It's house rules.
Yes, Dad, every fellow for himself. Come on.
I'll help your grandfather, dear.
Thanks, son.
It's my turn tonight.
Well, Daddy, you'll have to give up your turn. I want to show your grandfather how the dishwasher works. You'll be scraper-offer.
You see, we take turns, Dad. It's quite a privilege to be a scraper-offer. That means that you're entitled to run the electric pig.
Well, Dad, did you ever see a kitchen like this?
No, sir.
Just look. I've got everything. Just see how these cabinets light up. See?
Well.
And the electric sink. I tell you, it's fun to work in a kitchen like this.
You know, I've seen pictures of kitchens like these in the magazine. General Electric advertising. My, it's a beauty. But it certainly must have cost you a lot of money, children.
Wait till we tell you. Now, there is the keystone of the whole thing. The electric sink with dishwasher and Disposall.
Oh, I told Grandpa about it. Look, here's where we keep the electric pig.
That's
Well.
right, Dad. But all the waste goes right down there. Just wait till I show you how it works.
Well, I'm going to show him.
Don't be too eager, little Jack. We have to see how the dishwasher works first. Now, you see, Dad, first we scrape off the dishes. That's the scraper-offer's job here. And then we arrange them in the trays. So.
Looks mighty funny to me. I think you'd break every dish in that machine.
Oh, but the dishes don't move, Dad. You see, these trays are stationary, and the dishes just lie in them. Well, for me, at least, there's less dish breakage than when I wash them by hand.
And you mean to tell me that it really does get them clean?
Oh, cleaner than any dish washed by hand, Dad. Now, you watch and see how I put these in. There we go. Another one. You see, Dad? There's a system to it. Oh, are all the dishes off the table?
All clear.
Oh, thank you, dear. There we are. Well, let's see. We got everything there?
Ma, now can I work the pig?
Oh, wait until I've shown your grandfather how the dishwasher works, darling.
Hold your pigs, young fella. I want to see what's happening here.
Now, you see, Dad, all the dishes, everything, even these pots. And they've even thought of a place for a milk bottle.
Well, for goodness sake.
Now, I turn the switch, and that gives them a rinse. Don't try to open that lid. Water's hot now, so I close the drain, and that automatically measures in a gallon of water. You see?
I can't believe that those dishes don't move. How do they get clean?
It's the scrubbing action of the water, Dad.
Plus the action of calgonite. Now, this calgonite isn't a soap, but a chemical compound that dissolves all grease and loosens up everything on the dishes. I measure in a well-rounded tablespoonful. Close the lid again and let it run for 5 minutes.
And then you take the dishes out and wipe them dry?
Oh, no, the dishes dry themselves.
They do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how?
Well, their own heat does it. Well, just put your hand on that lid. Go ahead. You see? The water in there is hotter than your hand could stand, Dad. So you see, the dishes are not only washed and washed clean, but they get the cleansing action of water at 140 degrees.
140.
Well, I know this story so well, I think I could sell
I
these
believe
things.
you could, Norma. I declare I do.
And to think we once got along without one.
Well, you've got to admit, Norma, you were hard to convince at first. Dad, I was the one who had to do the selling job. But women are all alike. The thing that really sold her was the fact that she can always keep her hands nice and white. Never get them red in dishwater.
Oh, that wasn't it.
No.
Well, that was part of it, but... But, Dad, the thing that really sold me was the fact that clean dishes never carry germs. And, well, from the standpoint of my family's health, I just feel safer with an electric dishwasher.
Dad, the thing that appealed to me was, when I was a lad the age of little Jack there, my mother used to have to make me help wash the dishes every Thursday night. And boy, how I hated it.
I can bet. But do you see, Dad, now how many steps I eliminate? In the old way, of course, I had to clear off the table and then scrape up the dishes and stack the dishes in a sink just to prepare them for washing. And then I could only wash one dish at a time.
Naturally.
Well, and then I had to restack them in a tray and pour boiling water over them and wipe them one by one and then put them away again, of course. And as for the garbage, well, I had to wrap up the refuse of the waste and take it out to the garbage can. And that's not a pleasant task, I can tell you.
No, it isn't.
But now, all I have to do is clear the table, scrape off the dishes, put them in the dishwasher, and turn it on. And as for the refuse, why, the Disposall takes care of all that. And all I do is turn it on.
Come on, I want to run the electric pig.
All right, son. Let her go.
I'm going to save this bone to last.
Good. Now, Dad, you see all this waste, everything that used to go into the garbage can goes right here. There's a powerful little shredding device down there that grinds everything into a fine pulp. Then the cold water washes it.
Well, I think that'd shove up the butt.
No, on the con, it seems to keep them clean. Going, gone. Ah, that's fine. Dad, it's perfectly safe to allow him to operate it because the stopper is locked in position during the operation. How this old boy loves to feed the Disposall.
I never would have believed it. You certainly never are too old to learn. You know, I don't keep up with these new things the way I should. I'm afraid that's a sign I'm getting old.
Oh, nonsense, Dad. You're not old. Don't say that.
Well, honey, as long as I've got a daughter who looks as young as you do.
Oh, Dad. Well, these are the things that are going to keep me young. Well, you couldn't get a dish cleaner than that. And they're all alike, too. Just look at it. There's no greasy film on it. Go ahead. Run your finger over it. See? It's so clean it's squeaked.
You know, I never would have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Well, I was that way myself at first. You know, I was balky and skeptical. In fact, Mr. Brooks, he's the man that has the General Electric store here. He practically had to force me to try a demonstrator dishwasher. He came out and showed me how to operate it and then insisted that I try it for a few days anyway. Well, it does sound too good to be true when you listen to the salesman's story, but trying it certainly convinced me. Well, we're all through. Our work's done. We're all cleaned up. I'll put these dishes away in the morning. Now, Dad, do you believe me when I say I don't need a maid?
Oh, come on,
Sure do.
Grandpa. You've seen the electric pig. Let's play checkers. This time I'll skin you alive.
Wait a minute, son. Wait a minute. I'll tell you one thing. I never saw a kitchen like this in my life.
I told you it was fun to work in a kitchen like this, Dad.
Come on, Dad.
Oh, all right, son.
Well, it's all easily explained. Now, I told you what we paid down on this house.
Yes, it looks like a good buy. The house is well built. I'm glad you got it.
And you know that the amount that we pay each month for everything, kitchen and all, is less than what we used to pay for rent. Well, you know that kitchen of ours costs us only $2.84 each month to own under our FHA contract. We're saving money.
And the maid's wages. Don't forget the maid's wages.
That's right, Jack. Now, Dad, do you see why we're tucking away more money each month than we ever did? And living better than we ever did, too. You know, I think that when people really understand what electrical conveniences can do for them and how little extra they cost each month...
Yes, but how about running them?
Well, our electric bill last month for everything was... Well, what was it, Norma?
Well, it was $7.38, and only 50 cents of that pays for the electric sink. Uh-oh.
Doggone it, you would have to take those men.
You're going to skin me alive, were you?
A bedtime, young man. He's beating you because you're so sleepy you can't see the checkers.
Oh, Mother, just one more game.
Now, when Mother says bed, young man, you'd better scram.
But Grandpa let me stay up.
Why, I didn't do anything of the sort, Norma. You get to bed, young fella, or I'll stick the electric pig on you. Why, the idea is saying I'll let him stay up.
Come along, darling. Good night.
Good night. Good night, Grandpa.
Night,
Good
son.
Dad.
Good night, son.
Seems to be a letter from Marcia for you, Dad.
Thanks. The first I've had from her in 10 days. I wonder what's wrong now.
Can't be anything very serious. Oh, hello. Here's our last month's bill for current. Well, think of that, Dad. Only $7.55. Well, we certainly do get a lot for the money we spend with the light company. You know, my maid used to cost me more than that a week.
If I can understand her writing correctly, Marcia says that the hot water coil in the range is leaking. I gotta get back and get it fixed as soon as I can. Now, why does she want to bother me with a thing like that?
Oh, Dad. Well, that brings up something I've been wanting to talk to you about for the last week.
Does it?
You know, from some things that little Jack has sort of let drop since he got back, I had the feeling that you're not getting good care, good food. I'm afraid that Marcia's sort of, well, outlived her usefulness.
Now, wait a minute. That's nonsense.
Well, now, Dad, you didn't look at all well when you came, and, well, why don't you give up the old home place and come up here and live with us?
Now, Norm, look here now. Don't you start getting any foolish ideas. Why, I wouldn't leave the old place for anything. Oh, you made it very pleasant for me up here, but, honey, down there is home. Well, I couldn't be happy anyplace else.
Well, I hate to think of you going back to Marcia's housekeeping. I'll bet that kitchen is just the way it was when I was a child.
Well, yes, it is.
Say, Dad, I've got an idea. Why don't you put in a General Electric kitchen?
What, an electric kitchen like yours?
Well, just like ours. Come on, say you'll do it. Promise me. Make me happy.
Now, Norman, no teasing. I declare you never have grown up. Why, I wouldn't think of it.
Why, you haven't got a reason in the world for not doing it.
I have, too. The cost.
The cost? I've got you there, young fella.
Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, yes,
no,
I have.
sir.
What about that $1,000 check you tried to force on me? That'll more than pay for it. Why, Dad, it doesn't even cost as much as a new car. Well, it's all set. I've decided you got to do it.
You've decided.
Well, won't you make an agreement with me?
No agreement, and don't you try to stampede me either.
Well, I'll give you a day to think it over, but just a day.
Oh, it's you, Dad. Gosh, you had me scared for a minute. I thought you were a burglar. Say, what are you doing up at this time of the night? Were you hungry?
Oh, it's just me. I was just looking around. Hope I didn't wake you. Say, you didn't wake Norma up, did you?
Oh, no. She's sleeping soundly. But, say, are you all right?
Oh, shucks, I'm all right. I just got to thinking about your electric kitchen. I couldn't get to sleep, and, you know, this is the last chance I'll get before I leave tomorrow.
Say, that's great, Dad. You're going to put one in, too, aren't you?
Well, I might at that. Don't you tell Norma. I don't want her to think that just because I'm getting along in you, she can boss me around.
Don't worry, Dad. We boys will have to stick together.
You sure will.
Well, Mr. Wells, this looks like the right arrangement to me. It follows all the rules laid down by the General Electric Company for good kitchen planning. Of course, I could send these plans to Bridgeport if you'd like. But after all, this isn't a particularly difficult job. We know an awful lot more about kitchen planning now than we did.
Well, it's practically the same as my daughter's kitchen. That suited me.
Fine. And one more thing, Mr. Wells, if you don't mind. I think we ought to enlarge this window directly above the sink.
Yes, I believe that's a good suggestion.
Fine. Now, I'll get the order in first thing in the morning. Once the material is on the job, it'll take us no time at all to install. You see, everything comes plainly marked, and from then on, it's a very simple job. You know, Mr. Wells, it's a funny thing, but I would never have picked you as a prospect for a General Electric kitchen. I'm learning more about this business all the time. You know, I put them in $4,500 homes and $45,000 mansions.
Well, I never thought of myself as a prospect either until I saw my daughter's kitchen. That knocked my eye out. By the way that cuts down on the work of keeping house, I don't see why you aren't selling a lot of them.
We are going to sell a lot of them. But first, we've got to get the idea that we can go out and sell them the same way we sold refrigerators 10 years ago.
Let's have a look at the kitchen.
All right.
I've been living with this old outfit so long, I didn't realize it's as bad as it is until I saw what a kitchen should be. Now, you're not anticipating any difficulties?
None that I can see at the moment. The floor looks fairly level. The wall looks pretty true. And even if it wasn't, we could use wall scribing strips. You see, we can hang furring strips on the wall and hang the cabinets to them. Then we can fur them out until they become true.
Is y'all gonna throw out everything? My goodness, but I'm gonna miss this old range.
Miss it? Why, Marcy, you complained of that range ever since it was put in. You want it?
That range? Why, I sure do want it, Mr. Wells. Why, we can set it right up in the front parlor, and it can heat up the whole house. My, but that's pretty.
Well, you get your man down here with the truck and haul it away. I'll give you the day off. I'll get my dinner down at the hotel.
Oh, lordy, lordy, Mr. Wells. And I was gonna have catfish and hush puppies for dinner.
Well, Marcy, that's my hard luck.
Now, ain't that strange? Last Sunday, our pastor took for his text, and verily a new order coming. And I sure know what it means.
Well, now, Marcy, just what did he mean?
A new electric kitchen, just like I sees in the magazines. No more dish pans, no more dishcloths, and no more garbage to carry.
Everything all right?
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Wells. The gal from the General Electric done showed me everything. Now, you just run right along. Your dinner's ready. I got a surprise for you. coffee, sir?
Well, I shouldn't, but all right.
Was everything all right, sir?
Everything was perfect.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
That's a mighty fine dinner, Marcy.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Wells. Thank you. I knowed you'd like that surprise.
Now, you sure you know how to put those dishes in there?
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Wells. Yes, sir. Well, I done told you that the gal from the General Electric done showed me how to do everything. Why, Mr. Wells, it ain't nothing to it except a little common sense. And you knows me. I've got plenty of that.
You sure have, Marcy.
That's just one case, I know, Dick. But I've told it to you in some detail because I want to convince you, first, that the market is as great as any that ever existed for any product. And secondly, that a tremendously large group of people are anxious to adopt these services when once they know about them. There's something in it that appeals to everyone. The General Electric dishwasher washes dishes successfully, day in and day out in thousands of homes. It's equally important in those homes with maids. The General Electric Disposall definitely ends the garbage problem. Together, combined in the GE electric sink, they contribute even more than any other electrical product in banishing the drudgery of housework, in providing a new standard of cleanliness and convenience in the home. Now, whether you're building a home for yourself or building to sell, whether you're modernizing or just plain folks interested in better living, it's a profitable move to install a GE electric sink in the kitchen. Well, how about it, Dick? The next move is up to you.